there is AI involved. And I was like, okay, I like AI. I don't know what that is, but something is happening.
Situation in order for me to just what? Live again, and this is what makes us human, because we are emotionally being. And so we just want again to repeat the same emotions.
I want to be calm under pressure because calmness gives me clarity.
Few seconds before even the picture arrives, the heart already knows and sends a signal.
Welcome to From Hero to Human. Welcome to From Hero to Human, a space where we strip away the pressure to always be strong and explore what it means to lead, care, and thrive from a place of humanity and not perfection. I am your host. My name is Magda Snowden. I am a former nurse and now mental agility coach. And today we are diving into stories, insights, and shifts that happen when we stop performing and start truly connecting. Because healing, leadership, and growth begins when we dare to be fully human. My guest today is Nassima Aboufarid. She is a transformation guide, a breathwork facilitator, and a teacher of ancient wisdom. Nassima decided over a decade ago to answer her deep inner calling, which led her to leave the corporate world and embark on a global journey. This means 50 countries, exploring healing, consciousness, and the path to inner mastery. Wow. And I also asked Nassima a question. Who is she as a human? And this is the answer that she gave me. Nassima says that you will know when she is happy when you give her a good meal and you will see joy on her face. Good friends also know her by a very specific a feature of her. When she is grumpy, her good friends know to ask her a question. Nassima, have you had something sweet to eat today? And the answer is usually no. So Nassima, welcome to From Hero to Human.
Thank you so much, Magda, for inviting me today. I'm happy to be here.
I'm happy that you are here, that we are here together in this beautiful space. You know, a little bit of background. I've been coming to your breathwork sessions, 90 breathworks, for over a year. Initially, I started with more intensity, so I was coming more frequent. I felt that something was happening. I didn't know what, but something was happening. I was getting a relief. I was getting a release, and obviously we connected on the human level.
Yes.
And earlier on this month, when I came to yet another session of yours, I was sat there at the beginning, listening to your introduction, looking at you, and it clicked. The awakened leadership. Something that I have just also mentioned in my book that is going to be published later on this year. But when I talk about awakened leadership, I made a very strong statement in my book. Awakened leaders cannot be manipulated.
Yes.
And I think it's a beautiful way to start our conversation.
Yes.
Let's talk about the awakening that is happening now in the world, not only in leadership.
But in human, in general.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. I like what you're saying, because to be awakened, you need first and most of all, you need to know who you are. Because consciousness, most of the time, and now with science, as you know, we know that 95% of who we are by the age of 35 years old is just a set of habits. So whatever we are doing, most of the time we are unconscious, because 95% is subconscious mind. And so if you don't have this first awareness, as you said, to understand who you are, because when we came on earth, no one gave us a notice. You know, like when you buy a TV, you buy whatever, you have a notice how it works. We just came and like, okay, figure it out. And unfortunately at school, especially like in my time, in your time, and before. Now you start to have more consciousness regarding school, and you start to have like new schools that wants to take kids as they are and help them to understand who they are, what they love, what they are good at. Not like, I'm going to put you in a box and everyone, we're going to learn exactly the same because we are all the same. Where we are not all the same. We all have different capacities. And so the first thing, and that's why I went 2016, Dr. Joe Dispenza came to Paris. He came just for a lecture at that time. He was not doing retreat, he was doing workshops. And I was like, wow, like everything he's saying it so eloquently, so perfectly, but it's so true. And so we don't know who we are, we don't know how we function, we don't know how our brain functions, how our emotion functions. And we are running in autopilot the whole time. And except if we stop, like you, like a lot of people after COVID, because they had a lot of time to reflect on themselves. So it was also a very good thing for people to awaken and to say, okay, I need to pause here. Like, why am I running all the time after money, after material, after whatever? And like, I just pause and see who I am, what I want in this life, where I want to go, what I want to do. And like, I start to bring awareness. For me, it's like bringing light. Like you bring like a, like a detective. And it's like becoming the scientist of your life. Like, what do I like? What do I love? Who am I in this life? What are my addictions? Because we think addiction is drug, it's cigarette, it's emotions. We are addicted to emotions, basic. And so if you look at your life and you look at the cycle and you look at the pattern, you will understand that most of the things, so from 0 to 7 years old, we are in hypnosis. And this is explained by the brain waves in our brain. And so everything that happens between 0 and 7 years old, we're gonna like put a meaning behind it. And the subconscious mind is very symbolic. He will experience something and okay, this is what I understand in life. And that's why you can have the same parents, you can be twins even, and have a different life. Because your meanings, it's not the meanings of your brother or the meanings of your friends or whatever. So you put meaning in everything and you develop strategy. Okay, if I want to be loved, I need to do this. If I want to be a good person, I need to do this. And so you just put meaning and symbol and everything. And this is 95% of who you are after. And so your life, after you realize, okay, actually, I just want to relieve exactly the same emotions that I understood when I was a child. And so I'm going to take different actors in my life, different situations, in order for me to just what? Live again. And this is what makes us human, because we are emotionally being. And so we just want again to repeat the same emotions. And if you don't pause at one point and just like see where you're at and how you created your life and what is happening in your life, you will take your past and put it into your future. And that's what we call karma, and that's what we call like just no need to go to a psychic to tell you what's going to happen, because actually it's just you took your past, you put it in your future, and this is your life.
Wow.
And this is what's happening in most of people's life, until you have either a crisis, a shock in your life, sickness, or someone died, or like really something which is an elevated emotion actually, and that's puts the brake, and like you're like, okay, because our brain wants us to survive.
Yes.
That's the main subconscious mind. That's the main thing, that he wants you to be comfortable and he wants you to survive. So the moment you have like something that is like a shock, you change because you have no other option. And most of the time, I think 80% or more, we change out of a crisis. Crisis, it could be personal crisis, I don't feel happy, like my life is not fulfilling, or something external as an accident or whatever. And why I love the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza, and it's like telling you can change also with pleasure and with joy, and this brings creation. And so it's just another perception to understand how you can engage consciously your mind to change. For the better, for what you want, for to being like more happy, more fulfilled, whatever. Because bottom line, at the end, the more you understand who you are, the more you come back to your center, the more you're aligned, the more you come back to your heart, you will see that naturally as human beings we are good. That's the, I would say we came on earth as a good person.
Yes.
What shaped us is what happened to us. But if you remove all the trauma, all the wound, we are a good person and we are a good human. And you can see it like when you're in love. Like the moment you're in love, okay, it's chemical because you have all this serotonin, oxytocin, like all these hormones that give you love. But the first thing is you want to share it with everyone. And you see life with another lens, you know, because you're happy. And so if we bring this work, we bring this knowledge, this awareness, as you said, to people, you will have a different life, definitely. And you will ripple effect this to those around you, and this is how we can change, you know. I don't believe we can change by being an activist, and like, because this will not change the world. For me, everyone has to change, and it starts with a person, and then it becomes collective. Because I'm going to change, so of course, like all the people around me are going to change, my family. And actually, this is what happened with me. The work I'm doing, like since 10 years, of course, it has such a big effect on my family. And I really see it, and I'm like, okay, like dynamic are very different. And yeah, I believe we are in a very important time. And people start to awaken because they understand that they've been manipulated. That the media is manipulating people, that a lot school manipulated us. Like so many things take your power away. And I feel now we are in a time where people are going to take back their power. And yeah, and we're going to build Shambhala, peace on earth at one point. I truly believe this.
I love it. You have mentioned so many keywords. So many concepts that I study. So awakened leaders cannot be manipulated. I mean, this is the exact sentence that is gonna be there. And what do I mean by this? The fact that a change or transformation can happen in two different ways. So either you are gonna crash on that rock and it's gonna be painful as hell, or you're gonna come to a point and say, hang on a second, I don't like this. This is not me. What can I do with this? But as you said, 80% of clients who come to my sessions, they've crashed. And it's painful to watch. It's painful for them to go through that change. Again, everything happens, you know, for a reason. And when we say how we were conditioned, right? What happened to me in my childhood, I've learned in my 30s, late 30s, early 40s, how this trauma shaped me. But then there was a conscious choice to say, I will not be that horrible person because I was surrounded by horrible people. Okay, I have a choice. I am now an adult, not a child, sitting in that box. So what am I gonna do with this? And there came awareness to me, right? What is awareness? It's information. This is something we were discussing yesterday. How do we access this awareness or this information? Position ourselves now. We are in Dubai. A country of abundance of information, technology, resources. You are almost bombarded.
Offload.
You are bombarded with opportunities, you know, events, FOMO, fear of missing out. I need to be there. I need to be seen. I need to take photos. I need to post. I need to. Okay. What is your gold piece of advice to that person?
You go to JOMO, joy of missing out. You go to the other side. We are, especially I think in Dubai, but even in the world, like you have so much information today. Knowledge is everywhere, with AI everywhere. So we cannot count on knowledge too much because knowledge is everywhere. Now we have to count on our adaptability. This is what you do. How we can like fast come back to alignment instead of being triggered and being like in these emotions like the whole day, you know? Like how can you come back? So today it's more about adaptability. Before, like we had so many, like we are in a new era. Before, we know like you needed to be strong because we are harvesting, you were like, I don't know how you say, when you go and kill animals and everything, you know, like you needed to be strong to survive. Hunting, You needed to be strong to survive. After you have the industry, so all machine was doing everything. So strong was not it was not useful at that time. And then you needed to be smart, because the smarter, or if you're a doctor, if you do like in my time, and it's not long time, like if you didn't have a master, it was like you lost your life. Like you're not gonna go nowhere. You are going nowhere. But now, AI is going to be like, it's already like more intelligent than us. Yeah. It's already Einstein. Yeah. And imagine in not even 3 months, I think, because every 6 months and a half, it doubled his capacity. So intelligence is not going to do a lot. Today, why we have all these new 20s that are already like can make so much money, because they are adaptable. They understood that they don't want to be like my generation who went into a work. You know, I was working for a big oil company. Most of my colleagues, most of my friends, they are still there. Why? Because they have good conditions, they have so much like advantage. But like, my friend, you're there since 25 years, 20 years, like, don't you want something else in your life? And I think we all have this calling at one point. But people are so afraid that they just want to say, okay, no, I'm gonna, like, when I have my friends that tell me, I'm gonna do this until my retirement, I want to like, just faint. I'm like, oh my God, you're gonna give the most beautiful part of your life between 20 and 60s for something you don't even like, because you want to have some money to go on a holiday, to buy a car, to buy a house, to buy. At one point, I'm like, yeah, there is something that is not right in this equation. And so now this new era, it's going to be about, as you said, heart. Yeah. It's going to be about like alignment, about emotional intelligence, emotional adaptability, and how I can now flow through this new era and come back to my center and know who I am. And this is very interesting also, because you have a lot of people now that wants to live in community and that wants to come back, because now we're going to want more connection between human. And little by little, we're going to go back to this connection. And so coming back to Dubai and this offering of personal development, growth. I was in this journey at the beginning. I think at the beginning it's normal. Yeah. When you start, I remember like, and I was fortunate to live in Paris at that time, because before I was in Switzerland, and I didn't have that much richness of conferences, of learning. Switzerland, back more, how many years? 15, 20 years ago? Not a lot. But when I went to Paris, I had like, oh my God, so much. It's like a big buffet. It's like Dubai, actually, Paris. You have a lot of things. So at the beginning, it's good. You go and you know what you like. I did all events of Tony Robbins. I did many events of Dr. Joe, and also being volunteer. And I went to many different kind of retreat, because I wanted to learn, I wanted to know, and I think everything helped you at one point. But what I feel now in Dubai, especially after COVID, I feel that people come, they did one course. Like, everyone is coach nowadays. I don't know if you realize, but I see also so many people go out of their work, and I become a coach. I did one class and I'm a coach. I'm a mindset coach, I'm this. And my guys like be humble a little bit and know where you are, and also know how you can help people, you know? Because you're gonna have abundance coach, they are not even abundant. Just because they understand philosophically what it is, but they're not embodying it. Yeah, they're not living it. And a lot of things in Dubai today, it's like people who just want, because Dubai is also, I love Dubai because it has all spectrum, but it has also this sparkle, you know, the people who are looking for sparkle. So of course I'm going to set up for you a beautiful things and you're going to come, but out of this is going to be so empty. You know, like, are you empowered? That's the question. If I go to an event, am I empowered? And am I applying what I learned? Is my life changing? Or I'm just a consumer? Because at the beginning, to be honest, I was a consumer. I was just like, okay, I feel good. Like, you know, like you just go because you want to feel something. But after you leave, first you forgot what happened, and you go back to your own pattern or your emotion or whatever. And so for me, it was like, because I went to many masters and many, as a Scorpio, I think for me it was important to understand and to learn a lot. Like, for me, it was like, okay, what can I learn? What can I experiment? But after I realized that it's taking a lot of energy also. And you start at one point to get lost in everything you did and all the energies you're mixing yourself with because you go to 10 masters or whatever, you know. And at one point I was like, okay, now if I look everything I did, what empowered me really, and what I can, now that I spent these 10 years learning different modalities, what I know that helped me, change me, I implement, I embody, and I can guide people through this.
Yeah.
Because my mission is really, now I really understand, it's to guide people to remember who they are. Because out of all this garbage, out of all this conditioning, all this pain, as I said, we are good people. And if you remember who you are as a good person, as a divinity, you will definitely like mirror neuron and mirror with other people differently. And that's why I love Dr. Joe Dispenza, because he gives you like the formula to consciously change and understand who you are. That's why I became a trainer. That's why I love 9D, because 9D is breath work, so it's giving you power back because you use your breath that is innate in you, that you have access 24 hours 7, and that change your state, but also like can release traumas, because when you do somatic breathing, soma is the body, you start to release all this energy that is stored in your body and that you didn't release before. And the third modality that I did, it was more than 3 years now, and I love, it's going to modern mystery school. There is 7 different mystery schools on Earth. Every mystery school has a purpose on Earth, but 6 of them are closed. Only 1 is open. And they're in London, in Canada, in Japan. And I was like, okay, mystery school, that sounds good. And I had a friend back in the days that was volunteering with me in Dr. Joe Dispenza. And we were sharing the room together, and I was looking at her changing, like, something changed in you. And I could like see how she was evolving. I said, yeah, I went to mystery school. Would you like to receive a life activation? I was like, oh, life activation, that sounds good. I was like, what it is, life activation? And she was explaining, well, it's connecting you to your blueprint, to your essence, to your mission. It activates your DNA. And everything that is not aligned with you is like, and the moment she did the life activation, it was like, I would say 4 years ago. Before even I moved to Dubai, everything changed just by receiving the life activation. Because I was connected to my essence. That was the first step. And then I went to the school. And the school teach you different pathways to become a healer, to become a ritual master. You can learn about Kabbalah. I did 1 year of Kabbalah, and like I was like, wow, this is such a deep teaching that is available to people if they are looking for the light and if they are looking for service. Because it's not about, this is exactly what I was doing before. I was a taker. I was going to events just for the sake of feeling good. You know, at the beginning this was like this, okay, I go there, but I was like, okay, what I do with this, I was not doing anything. Like I had, I don't know how many diploma I didn't do. I was not giving back because I didn't feel I was good enough or I was healed enough. You know, that's also something that we do, that we're like, okay, until I'm healed, but I think we will never like, we will be satisfied with who we are. But like we will keep evolving all the time and changing, and like that's the beauty of it. But you cannot wait, like you have like at one point to, okay, now what I learn, I give back. Because I know that this is how actually I'm also embodying it, because I'm sharing it with you. If I don't share it with you, it dies. It's like the light. If you don't share it, the light dies. So like trying to share this, and like, I think it's the beauty of it. So yeah, what's important, wherever you go in an event, is it empowering me? Am I a better person? Like, really, am I a better person? Can I use this in my life? Am I changing? If you're not changing, you can start to ask yourself some question, you know? Because I was like this before, and like I was like, okay.
What a beautiful journey. You know, when you are explaining, I'm going in my head through all the pictures, how I was a consumer, going to these events, doing different certifications, and then awakening came to me and said, Magda, what is your intention before you go into this session? Okay, that's why I'm not achieving what I'm hoping to achieve, because the intention is not there, or is a wrong intention. So being a consumer, but you know, when you said I wanted to feel good, you know, people want to feel good. That's why we end up going to these events, and we want to be seen. We go try everything. It's okay. Keep trying till this awakening comes to you. And then, so let's talk about the well-being industry, because well-being is an industry.
Yes.
Why is it an industry? Because people are
suffering,
buying it, right? People are suffering, so they will pay
Yeah.
for different type of gatherings, to try different modalities, to connect. People are seeking to find their communities, because the suffering, is quite intense. But we know that we heal collectively.
Yes.
So in your previous session, when I was, every time I go there, I sit and observe, and thoughts come to my head. And I made that reflection a few months ago. This is a collective healing space. When people started sharing, everyone is suffering with something different. Everyone has their own unique journey. But then we come together, and all of a sudden we are able to verbalize it.
Yeah.
We are able to release it with the right type of guidance. Like, you guide people not only through the 9 breath work, but what really interested me, it was the cacao ceremony that helps you open your heart. So where I'm going with this, we are now in a leadership evolution which has moved from being about the brain, about the muscle, and now we are looking for leaders who lead from the heart. And Joe Dispenza, even Islamic teachings, heart has the highest energetic frequency.
Yes.
When we start from here,
Yeah.
beautiful things happen.
Yeah, because first the heart has a magnetism of 3 feet, which is 1 meter. It's 60 times, 60, imagine, more powerful than the brain.
Wow.
And when your heart is open, it's sending signal to your brain, actually. And that's why, like, you can connect easily with people, because your heart is open, and you become a magnet, actually, because like all your electromagnetic field becomes so wide open. And that's why I love cacao also, because it helps for this. I love when we, like, you see how people change before, when they enter, and at the end of because they feel connected, and they feel part of something bigger, and they are connected back to themselves. And so when you are connected to your heart, because you send different signals, but also you have so much more clarity. Because when you have a fight between your brain and your heart, there is no clarity, there is a big mess in your brain, because you don't know where to go. And when you don't know where to go, you are contracted most of the time, because you want to protect yourself again. You don't want to be hurt. You don't want, like, you are maybe in danger, because your brain understands that, like, there is something. But when you're in your heart, you're not in your ego, which is a negative ego. You're in your heart. So that's the seat of the soul. It's different answer, different talk, different answer, and it has his own brain, by the way. So it's really like, I think I touched the mic. It's a different place to live a life. Different, like big time. And we think that, the smarter I am, the better I'm going to be. But actually you can have access to so much more information through your heart, more than the brain. And they did an amazing documentary, actually. It was The Power of the Heart. And in their study, they were showing picture to people, but before they see the picture, so they were measuring the brain and measuring the heart. And before even the picture, because they didn't know what picture they're going to have. And so in the picture they had somewhere babies, somewhere happiness, somewhere accidents, somewhere traumas. And so the person didn't know yet what was the picture. But few seconds before even the picture arrives, the heart already knows and sends a signal. Wow. Yeah, your heart knows everything. But because we are so full of fear, we prefer to listen to the mind, to the analytical mind. We think he has all the answers, but actually our heart has all the answers. And that's why I feel this new era, it's going to require people to come back to their heart and to understand the power of it. Yeah. And the more you do this exercise, to go from your brain to your heart, you see, it's not a long distance, but
it's the longest distance.
Exactly. At the end, it's like the the biggest realization that you can have and implement in your life. And you know, I work with so I have a community of traders who trade on the market, and so it's been more than 2 years, I think. I have a weekly call with them, meditation and emotional intelligence, and they changed so much because they understood that why you're doing this first, you know. Most of the time is again emotion. What do you want to live? People think, no, I want this money, I want to be rich, I want to be independent. Nowadays, everyone want to be financially independent, but for why? Okay, I give you all the money, what? You know? At the end, people don't even know, you know, like they will give you the first reply from the brain.
Yes.
Because again, conditioning. If I have this money, I'm happy. If I have this money, I'm good. If I have this money, I'm powerful. But actually what you want at the end, you just want to be free. People want to be free, actually, and want to enjoy. But you can enjoy, you are already free, you can enjoy from now, and you will realize that you are even more richer than you think that you will be when you will have this amount in your bank account. It's just like, again, come back to who you are, come back to your essence, come back to your heart, and you will see life so differently.
Yes.
And you will give this to your children.
Wow. Wow. It's a beautiful mission when you are explaining that we need to go back to the roots, right? Yeah. We are not reinventing anything new here. We just need to pause, ideally before we crash on that rock. Ask ourselves that question, what is it? What is bothering me? Am I enjoying? Is there actual joy in the things that I'm doing? And then start asking questions, because it's in the questions, not in the answers.
Yes.
You know, this discussion is getting deeper and deeper and deeper. But you are a very skilled teacher, I would say. You explain it with such ease and breaking it down into small pieces that are really easy to digest. And I think a lot of people struggle with the abundance of information. Because maybe it's too much. It's not presented in a way that is easy for me to digest. So what I've discovered in my coaching journey is a creation of magic formulas, right? Our brain likes formula. So give me step by step, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That it's easy for me to apply, and also something that I'm gonna have fun doing. So like one of the magic formulas that I bring in every single event or a session is awareness, choice, change. So every time I'm having that awareness, so a piece of information that came to me, I have a choice. Choice means I'm gonna go and take an action, small action. It doesn't need to be anything huge. Or I need a little bit more information, which means I will study more. When I have the full picture, I'm gonna take that action and I'm gonna arrive at a different outcome. So I think having access, let's go back now to the well-being industry, we need to have access to information that is easy for us to understand. It's not a fancy, 90 breathwork. What is it actually? Because it was presented to me originally in a way, okay, it is science proven. There is AI involved. Now it's like, okay, I like AI. I don't know what that is, but something is happening. Plus, there is neuroscience, the somatic breathing. So everything is backed up. It's not just a woo that someone has created. So I think when we are looking for solutions for well-being events, really we should be looking for spaces, places, people who can really put everything together as a package, but in a way that is proven by science. There is an evidence base, but also it is explained in a way that gives a person a choice. So it's not to hook them and make them coming to continuous, sessions, but to give them that choice. Yes, it's working for me. And as you said, Nassima, am I empowered at the end of this? What am I gonna do with this information, with this awareness that just came to me?
That's really important, because today there is kind of a war of your focus. Like you can see everywhere, like with whatever TV or whatever, our focus is taken away. Even with social media,
Yes.
all the time our focus it's taken away. But like if I train myself to come back into the present moment, I can focus again in what do I want. You know, I stop to distract myself, and this is where you start to choose wisely and to choose consciously, as you said. Where do I want to go, and is it empowering me? Because the purpose of any workshop, of any event, is to empower you. If it's not empowering you, it becomes again a dependence. You know, you just came because like okay, I'm a guru or whatever, you know, like, and I'm gonna like you're gonna be my student your whole life. Like that's not the point, really. And you have people like this, like we have to say it, like there is people like this that just want people like to be their students their whole life, but it's not like this. You want people to, okay, like, what do you do? Are you empowered? What do you implement? What's happening in your life? Are you happier? You know, like,
Yes.
have you do you have more joy? Or like, because at one point, like, you really have to stop and to ask yourself. And I think focus, it's a big part of it. Like to see like what do you want, and because you said about FOMO, it's taking your focus away definitely, because it's like really like, oh, okay, what I'm gonna do? I just want like, you know, like to go and yeah, just distract myself. But like you have to ask yourself the good question, as you say, because the more you ask yourself question, your brain is gonna like scan every information that you have, because your brain is the memory bank of everything happened, and based on what you experiment, he's going to give you an answer. So that's why information is important, because you need to have new information if you want to have new answers. Because if you have not new information, you will have always the same answers. Really, you will not go like that far. But like, you should always think that, okay, am I expanding today? You know, you want to expand. And so if you stay in the same habits, the same routine, the same information, the same opinion, because we are full of opinion, you're not going to grow. Nothing is going to happen. As I said, like, you put the past, you put it in the future, and this is your life. But I feel like really, like, I really feel there's going to be a change, hopefully. Really.
I love it. You mentioned another magic word, consciousness. There is one of the movements, leadership movements that I follow, is the conscious leadership, right? So again, awakened leader, conscious leader, one that leads from the heart, but one that is connected to himself or to herself, really know himself, and it all starts with awareness. We see this Instagrammable, you know, quotes, awareness, everything starts with awareness, but we don't really understand what that is. Then when people come to sessions, like even senior leaders that I work with, they want to work on awareness. First question from me, what is your definition of awareness? We need to start there. We cannot start improving something that we don't understand what is it. Same happened with my nurses when I used to work in hospital setting, when people used to run around in the autopilot reality, in the superhero reality. I'm busy, I'm stressed, I'm busy, I'm stressed. Then when you ask a simple question, what is stress? It's, you know, silence, and the silence is profound. And this is where my awareness and awakening also came, to add the science component to my framework. I need to empower people with definitions. I need to help them understand before any coaching comes to the table. Coaching will not work if there is a real knowledge gap. And coaching doesn't work when people are overwhelmed and they don't even know where to start.
Dr. Joe said beautifully also, you need to know the what and why, and then the how gets easier. But if you don't know, as you said, like the what and why, so how do you want, like, it's going to be hard for you, you know, to change. And definitely in hospital, in all this field, like, there is a lot of stress. And again, as I said, when you're in stress, you're in contraction, sorry. So you are in survival, you are just doing what you need to do because you have to do fast. But when you are like this, you narrow your focus. So you're going to see just few information. And the opposite of stress, again, is creation, and this is where you open your focus. And when you open your focus, like I can see like, you know, like so many things around me. But if I'm stressed because I think I'm in danger, I'm just going to see you, you know, nothing else. And the amount of information that your brain is processing, imagine if I just see you, of course there can be like so many mistakes. Because my focus is totally like restrictive. I don't see something else. And again, like you need like tools, you need meditation, like, you know, like there is so many like tools today that help to recenter, to be in the present moment, to come back in this, and you will realize that if you stop, you see like with Brian Kelly, 9D breathwork, you have 5 minutes meditation, like breathwork, only 5 minutes. If you feel yourself, you are like overwhelmed or whatever, I pause just 5 minutes and I come back again to what? To my breath. I just slower. And when my nervous system feels safe, when I'm in the parasympathetic mode, I feel safe. So of course I'm going to have better decision. But if you are like running like a rabbit in the rabbit hole, like nothing is gonna, like, you know already the outcome. Like of course you're gonna do mistakes. There is not, for me it's impossible that you're not doing mistakes. It's not possible. And we are human again. So we are human emotionally, like, so we have like so many things that can like influence us. So these parameters that are already influencing you, if you know them, if you understand them, if you like know how to really shift fast, because today you can really shift fast with your breath, you will come back on track. And that's why you hear lots of people now going to meditation. Before, people were saying, meditation, what it is. But when they understood the power of it, and like what it does to yourself, what it does to your life, and how you become an observer. You're not in the rabbit hole again. You know, you have time to pause because you don't react like you used to react. Because before you are just a set of program who is reacting to whatever is happening around him. But the moment you start to bring like more alignment, more energy back into my body, like with meditation, with breath work, you will have different like reaction, different outcome, because you have new information. So of course you're going to have new choices again that will give you new outcome. That's the how you say virtuous, you know, like the up spiral up. Spiral up.
Yeah, beautiful. I love how you explain the simplicity. Because these tools, these modalities are free. They are easy to use. And you know, for healthcare professionals, nurses, doctors, this is what we teach our patients, right? When they're anxious.
Lower system, you
slow
see?
down.
Nervous
deep
system.
Breath in, deep breath out, right? Why don't we do it for ourselves when we are stressed, running around? This happens a lot, you know, in healthcare settings. But again, having this type of awareness. So I've been asked numerous occasions, come and do this workshop on stress and burnout. And then there will be a request, you need to teach the techniques. But then no one never asked me to explain what the stress was. And then I started noticing when I added this component to my sessions, the most powerful awareness was at the beginning, when people started understanding that chronic stress is a state of emergency, which means we cannot go like that 24/7. The superhero is not a human. So when we are able to understand this, and then I love when you said beautifully that breath gives you your power back. And let's begin. So this is like the starting point. You are calm, you are breathing deeply, then you can start asking questions. And the answers are gonna come.
Definitely. Because, stress, it's a chemical response of your body. But not only this, like there is so many emotional stress. You know, before, I thought stress, it was just when you had fear, you know, or anxiety. But actually there is so many emotions that are attached to stress. Depression is attached to stress. Despair, like shame, it's an emotional stress response. And I was like, really, like when I learned this through Dr. Joe's teaching, I was like, wow, I thought stress was just anxiety or fear. That was for me adrenal glands. This is where like I'm in emergency mode. But actually there is so many, and that's why there's chronic stress, because it's a accumulation of different emotions.
Yes.
And yes, if you don't stop at one point and bring some new ritual, new tools, your body cannot manage all this stress.
That's why now one of the most powerful skills for leaders in 2025 is emotional literacy, right?
Yeah.
People keep talking about emotional intelligence, and there is already so much research and data that is emerging. For example, Deloitte did some studies amongst employees, and they said we want training on human skills, means emotional intelligence, not only on the strategic skills. It's like people don't know how to navigate this reality. Okay, I'm smart, I have all the degrees, I have masters, I have certifications in AI, I know all the technical stuff, but what I've noticed also from my work with clients is like people don't know how to deal with other people. And a beautiful study from healthcare, people were asked which is the most bothering trigger for them for stress. They said people-related triggers. It's not the process, it's not the technology, it's people.
People,
My
connection.
interaction with my coworker, or even an angry patient, or maybe a complaining, a contractor, like, what am I gonna do with this? We are lacking basic human skills, and the gap is getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, it's really crazy when you think about it. Basic human skills.
Yes.
Yeah, we come back because we, as I said, like the previous era, just the one before, if we were smart, you could succeed. But today it's not this anymore. It's about like how are you interacting collectively? Because I was in corporate before. Like imagine if you have a manager who is like super smart, super talented, but he doesn't talk to you nicely, or he's stressing you out for nothing. Are you going to be happy? Are you going to be a good worker? Like no, of course not, because you're going to be like so stressed, so fearful that you're not going to want to work first. So you're going to do the bare minimum, and then you're going to continue to have the conflict in the whole team. And that's actually the teaching, change your mind, create new results of Dr. Joe that he brought for companies, because he was like, okay, I'm doing the retreat collectively, people come, but what do we do with company, with corporate? Because everything also starts from there. And he did this 2 days program where he's really teaching about this, and like when you have one, it's like a cancer. A systemic organization, a group, it's like a body organ.
Yes.
If you have something that is spoiled, I think you say,
spoiled,
it's gonna like contaminate everything.
Yes.
And it's easier to contaminate this way, to have one person who is joyful and gonna bring joy to everyone. It's really easier to have like one nasty that is going to be like the terrifying leader. And I think it's not working anymore, the authoritarian leader. Before it was authoritarian leadership, but it doesn't work anymore.
That's why now there are calls for human-oriented leadership, right? For some, I understand, it's overwhelming and people don't understand. What do you mean, human-oriented leader or leading from the heart? What do you mean? Pause, stop, there is already so much data and so much research. Even if you look at Brené Brown, she studies heart-oriented leadership, or Amy Amundsen, psychological safety. And when you mentioned the systemic effect, so I'm a systemic team coach. So again, any change in organization starts with that one person. But then when you understand the power that team that is in this room having the coaching, the effect is going to be outside that room. So it's every single individual not involved in that conversation, someone who doesn't even know that the coaching is happening here and now. Is the patient that is outside that facility, is that patient relative. So the change is systemic. And it's beautiful what we can create with systemic team coaching, with raising awareness, with helping people understand their emotions, right? Because there used to be a saying, even one of my previous bosses says, there is no space for emotion in the workplace. And I'm like, and you mentioned, Nassima, in this discussion already, we are feeling creatures that think, not thinking creatures that feel. Let us start with this. And this is backed again by science. It's not Magda is saying this.
Yes, that's the beauty of human being, you know. And yeah, I think there is like so many important thing in the system, in the change, in how people can interact. And again, if you know yourself, if you know who you are, and maybe that day something trigger you, you're gonna like just how to say, like don't go in the room, you know, like take time for yourself.
Yes.
And when you're good, you come into a meeting or whatever. And so if you see someone at the same time who is triggered by something, you're not going to go and attack him, because you understand that. And so this, like, of course, like the more you understand yourself, the more you like you're tuned into yourself, the more you're going to accept other people. But if you are like build of fear or build of judgment or build, you're going to nourish yourself by judging the other, and you want them to feel as miserable as you're feeling. And this is what's happened a lot in companies, because I really remember my previous job. But it's interesting again, because you see, I was in a very stressful environment before, but I didn't know that I will come back and work with traders. But I work differently because now because I know what it is. And so I brought like the neuroscience, the meditation and everything. But I'm like, wow, life is very interesting again, because that was my first job after university. And I was like, you see, like there is always like something that come back to you, but like 360, you have to go back to it, but with as a different person.
Yes.
To close the chapter.
You took the lesson, right? You didn't choose to stay in the same narrative. You learned that something needs to be done differently. And again, similarly, in my case, I was frustrated, I was angry that the same situations were happening in different healthcare organizations that I used to work with. So I used to work in the UK in the NHS, then I came here to Dubai, private organizations. I went to Kuwait for a bit, and then I came back. And I've noticed the same scenarios. Definitely there is a gap in emotional literacy, emotional intelligence. You know, why? Not because we are bad people, because no one taught us this type of skills. I wish I have the level of emotional intelligence and maturity that my niece, who is 17 years old, has now. I wish I had it back then. I wish, no, actually I've learned it, and you know, I really went consciously in that journey to understand why I was the one labeling. I was also the one, I was the crazy leader running around in the hero narrative, stressing my people. I was the one, but I can now remove myself, stand here and look, this is not how I want to lead.
Continue and lead, yes, definitely. Of course, we needed to experiment and to see this is how we grow. You know, you grow when you have challenge, you grow like when something is not working, and I'm like, okay, how can I do things differently?
And I think, taking that decision from the point before I crashed on that wall and before I crashed on that rock, it was like, okay, let me just stay in this space and see what is gonna come.
Yeah, which is very good. Fortunately, we have you now.
I have you, because you know, we connected for a purpose. It was not a coincidence. Everything, oh my God, I keep repeating this, and now I really understand what it means that everything happens for a reason, and at the right time.
Yes.
If I met you 10 years ago, no way.
You were crazy, I was crazy too.
No way.
Maybe we would have met as a crazy.
Maybe, but I would, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, I would not understand meditation. I would be like, this is some crazy thing. I need work, I need money, I'm not going there. I don't need to slow down. I can do shallow breathing for the rest of my life, and die in corporate. That was the scenario. But then,
because this is what they teach us.
Conditioning, right?
It was conditioning. They teach us this. You need to be performant. You need to be like just a go-getter. And I was like you, because that was also my big. I was in Switzerland, and then I moved to Paris. And in Switzerland, it was more intense, and we were working. And I loved this stress. And I was working with most it was men, and I lacked this stress, you know. And when I went to Paris, French, slow down, relax. They have the 35 hours, you know, like. And for me, I didn't like at all this experience, because I was like, what is this? And I was also a manager. And I was like, these people, they take, I don't know how many breaks in my team. They leave, they have to leave at 5 because they have children and everything. For me, it was a no-go. You know, I was like, no, it's not going to work this. So imagine for you, before taking time, it was like...
See, when you get exposed to different type of narrative, because I still remember back in HS days there was a group of crazies like Magda and her friends running around, not breathing, not eating, not going for breaks. And there were few, especially leaders, who were always calm. They always had time to talk to me. You know, I would run and say, are you okay? But it started bothering me back then. I'm like, how calm?
Yeah.
She is so calm. What's going on in there? But you know, there comes a time, and I'm like, let me study this more. I want to be that person.
Yes.
I want to be calm under pressure, because calmness gives me clarity in my mind, so I can find answers. When I'm sitting there like this, there is no way I'm gonna find an answer. And it came to me a few years later when I was in Kuwait, super intense situation. I go to my office, I try to find the solution desperately. I am so stressed, the whole body is tensed, you know, head is almost about to explode. There is no way I'm gonna find any answer in that office alone, when the body is in a state of emergency and the mind doesn't work. Something needs to change. And you know, I felt bad. I felt horrible. I did not want to feel this way, because we should be feeling good, right? I want to feel happy. I want to feel relaxed. I want to have fun at work. Why do I need to feel this way?
Yeah. But as you said, it's so important, like you've been exposed to something else. And I think that's key of life. And that's why traveling is really important, because you open your mind and you start to this. And that's why also what made me move to Dubai. Because normally I love nature, I love greens. I came from Annecy, which is a beautiful with lake and everything. And like when I said to my family, I'm going to go to Dubai, you in Dubai, why? Like, why would you go to Dubai? And for me, the answer was, you know why? I love the people in Dubai, because there is such a big diversity. People are the smartest I ever met. And so they teach you something, like they traveled a lot, so they know so many things. And by being around them and meeting these people, you learn so much. And for someone like me that love travel, here you have everyone from different countries. So you're traveling without moving from Dubai. And for me, that was like, okay, I put myself in such a different environment and such a different energy that it's gonna like uplift me. If I did exactly the same as I'm doing in France, I'm not sure I will be successful, to be honest. Not as Dubai is really like helping, and people are looking for a solution and looking to change and looking for something new. And that's why I choose Dubai. I'm like, wow, you need to expose yourself to a place where you know you're gonna grow. That's the best place for you.
So this is the magic formula actually for awareness. If you're looking for awareness, you're looking for new information, you need to expose yourself to something you haven't experienced before.
Yeah.
And be ready, it's gonna be uncomfortable. But just sit there with this discomfort.
Exactly, that's the beauty of it. Because if not, I think we talked like 2 days ago about like you will experience only what you know. And what you don't know cannot come to you because you don't know about it. And like the more you expose yourself to new things, like wow, like this exists. And observe people. For me, you know what I love to do? It's to observe people, observe their life, observe their belief system, and I'm like, wow, like I love her belief system actually. She has something I should connect to because what she's creating is like, wow. And I'm like, really like always like, I think if you observe around you the people, the nature, how everything is working, you can live, and I think that's maybe the conclusion of it. It's what Einstein said, like, you know, like your life you can live your life as a miracle or like as there is no miracle. So how do you want to live your life? So I prefer to live my life as it's a miracle. Every day there is something new to learn, something new to see, something new to experiment, because we came here just to enjoy and to experiment. And look at children. Children, they are enjoying to the fullest, and you see how they are happy. And when they need to cry, they cry immediately, but after they go back to whatever they were doing. And so we need to come back to this and just like, okay, what do I want to do today? Question.
What a beautiful reflection at the end of this conversation. Yeah, we need to go back to the roots. We need to go back to ourselves.
Yeah.
But for this to happen, we need to pause. We need to pause. We need to ask that question. Sometimes we need to look in that mirror.
Yeah.
Look deep inside. Look for that answer. Yeah. Without crashing, just do it when you are in control and you have the choice to stop and to ask that question.
Yeah.
Amazing. I am so grateful that you've joined me on this podcast, and I have learned so much. I keep looking at you, absorbing this energy, but also, you know, everything that you are explaining immediately brings images from my own life.
Yeah.
It's like coaching session, but a really high level. So much new awareness.
Amazing.
So thank you, Nassima. A beautiful conversation, but most importantly, a beautiful energy. And this is how we connected. So there was a energetic synergy. Definitely. Yes. This is my newly discovered mantra in life, you know, connect with those who vibrate at similar energies. And if someone has a different level of energy, just be curious and see what's there for you.
And bless them. Bye.
And bless them. Yeah.
That's it.
There
and
is always a choice.
To grow. Yes.
I hope you like what you see. It's not our usual conversation about leadership in healthcare, although these are also deep. This is another level. Perhaps you will find some type of awareness, some type of advice, how to stop in that leadership journey, how to look inside, perhaps discover more about the heart-oriented leadership, the human-oriented leadership, because we cannot continue in the same narrative. We need to start noticing the humans in front of us, and this is how we create that positive change in our ecosystems. So do subscribe and do share it with your friends, with your families, someone who you think might benefit from this type of conversation. Till next time.